Hey guys, OmniGamer here and I'm back with another video, and today guys I'm going to be doing another games I brought online video. Now if you guys remember the last one I did, which was back in the end of March, I showed you guys a bunch of games that I purchased online through eBay and Amazon, just a bunch of stuff that I brought since the start of the year pretty much. And yeah, it was a great big video, it was over half an hour long, which I had no idea it was going to end up being that long. So this is going to be episode 2. I will be renaming the first one to episode 1. And yeah, and like from now on, whenever I buy just like a bunch of stuff on eBay, I'm going to just show them all off in this video series pretty much. Although not every video will be as long as the first one, because the first one was over half an hour long, and that was mainly because like I was showing off like 2 and a bit months worth of stuff that I brought online. And unfortunately this one's going to be a lot shorter because I've only brought 4 games on eBay since I made that last video. Sorry if I disappointed you by saying that, but not every single one of these videos is going to be half an hour long. But still, regardless, despite the fact I haven't got a whole lot of games to show off in this video, I still want to show them off anyway. So yeah, so without further ado, yeah, let's begin. So this is all the stuff I brought on eBay since I made that last video back at the end of March. But yeah, so let's start off with the first game here, Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam for the Nintendo Wii. Now, in my last video, my last games I brought online video, I brought the PS2 version of this. But I mentioned in that video that like the disc was really scratched, and because of that I couldn't play it. And so what I decided to do was that because the Wii version is a hell of a lot cheaper than the PS2 version, I was able to get the PS2 version for like, what was it, like £2.89 or something, which is a hell of a lot cheaper than what that version usually go for. Usually that version is like 15 quid for some reason, complete in box. But the Wii version you can get for like 2-3 quid, it's super cheap. And yeah, and I couldn't be asked to like buy like a disc resurfacer or whatever, so I decided just to buy the cheapest Wii copy because I really wanted to play this game. And yeah, that's what I did. So I bought the Wii version about a week or so after buying the PS2 version. I bought this just so I can actually play the game. Hopefully one day I do want to get the disc resurfaced for the PS2 one so I can play it properly on my PS2. But yeah, so I legit brought 2 copies of Downhill Jam within the span of like a week. Yeah, I have played a bit of it. It actually is pretty fun. I mean, it's very different from like your traditional Tony Hawk game. This one's a spin-off. It's a downhill racing game, which is what the series was originally going to be. Like the first Pro Skater was originally actually going to be a downhill skateboarding game before Neversoft changed it to, what we know the series as today. But yeah, but this one's an actual racer, and it's pretty fun. And yeah, got it complete right there. So yeah, I was going to buy this version regardless of if my PS2 one worked or not, but because it didn't and I really wanted to play Downhill Jam, I decided to quickly buy a cheap Wii copy so I can actually play the game. But one day I will like to get my PS2 copy resurfaced so I can actually play that properly, because I'm not a big fan of the motion controls in this game. Now I'd much rather play it with a standard PS2 controller. But yeah, so we've got that. And then the next game we have here is another Tony Hawk game. Like I mentioned, these are all Tony Hawk games with the exception of one. And this is another Tony Hawk game on the Nintendo system. And one I actually did used to own many years ago, but I had to get rid of due to the disc having literal cracks in it. And that game is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 for Nintendo GameCube. Now, I had this version of the game years and years and years ago. I want to say around about 2015, maybe 2014. I don't really know, but I had it a long time ago. But I had to get rid of it due to the fact the disc literally had cracks around the center of it. Like it had like actual physical cracks in it, and because of that, the game played, but it would only play for like a few minutes, and it would just come up with an error message saying it was unreadable. So because of that, I had to get rid of it. I don't know why I decided to get rid of the box, because I remember it was complete in box. In fact, I've actually still got the manual from my original copy, which is actually like inside of this one. Because this copy right here actually came with no manual, but because I kept my old manual from my old copy, I put that in there, so now it is complete. But yeah, but after all these years, I finally got it again, finally got the GameCube version. I've now got all 3 6th gen versions of Pro Skater 2, so PS2, Xbox, and finally GameCube again. Yeah, it's not the best condition copy of Pro Skater 4. I mean, it's got like a little dent right here in the cover, plus at the front there's like quite a lot of scratches. I don't know how well you can see, but there's like some scratches or creases at the front. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I mean the case is in pretty decent condition. The disc's perfectly fine. This is the manual that came from my old copy many years back. But yeah, there it is. And yeah, Pro Skater 4 for the GameCube. Had this a long time ago. Had to get rid of it, but now I've finally got it again. And then I just need to get Underground, Underground 2, and American Wasteland, and then I'll have every Tony Hawk for the GameCube. So yeah. Okay, and then the next game we have here, this is the only non-Tony Hawk game I'll be showing off. And yeah, I would have saved this one for last, but I'm showing these off in order of like when I brought them. And this one came like a day or two, I think, after I got Pro Skater 4. But yeah, this is another game I own for another platform, and this is one of my all-time favorite games, by the way. I absolutely love this game. Dynasty Warriors 3 for the original Xbox. This is a game I've owned for the PlayStation 2 for many years, but the Xbox version was one I wanted for a really long time. This was actually the first Dynasty Warriors released on any console outside of PlayStation, because the first two games were exclusive. The first one was only on PS1, and the second one was only on PS2. But the third one was on both PS2 and Xbox. And this version is actually pretty rare. It's quite uncommon. I mean, you can find copies on eBay, but when you do, there's only a handful, especially like the European ones, like the PAL copies. It's weird because you see like more sealed copies of this than used ones. Like, I'm not even joking, like if you go on eBay, you can literally find more sealed copies of this than used ones. And yeah, the sealed ones usually go for like around about 25 quid or thereabouts. And like the used ones go for around about like 13 quid. Although CEX is selling this for 8 quid on their website, but you have to pay like, well, I think it's £1.95 for shipping. So in total it equals to around about like 10 quid. But this copy I bought on eBay was actually originally sold for £13, but I didn't get it for that much. The seller eventually dropped the price down to 8 quid. And that's when I decided to actually get it, because there was like nowhere in hell, as much as I love this game, there was nowhere in hell I was going to spend like 13 quid on it. So I waited until someone was selling a copy that was like under a tenner. And finally this one, which was originally sold for 13 quid, went down to 8. So that's when I decided to finally get it. But yeah, but Dynasty Warriors 3, I absolutely love this game. It's not only my favorite Dynasty Warriors, but one of my all-time favorite games. I mean, this game is super, super, super fun. In my opinion, this is the best Dynasty Warriors. And yeah, I really wanted to, even though I've already got this on PS2, I just really wanted to get the Xbox version, especially because like it's so rare, and like not many people probably even know that they made an Xbox version of this, but they did. It's the first Dynasty Warriors ever on an Xbox console. And yeah, and this version's just extremely uncommon, and for some reason they decided to move the Warriors over to the left. It just looks really weird. I don't think that was like a printing error or something. I think that was intentional, because literally every PAL copy of this game for the Xbox has that, where the Warriors is off to the left. But like the NTSC version actually has it like as it should be, like the Warriors right underneath Dynasty. But for some reason, all the PAL copies, they moved the Warriors. Why? I have no fucking clue. It's something that's baffled me for years. But yeah, got a complete right there. Got someone's name, like Brian Hills. I don't know who the hell that is, but yeah, it is complete. And also, someone actually drew on the fucking Koei logo. I don't know if you could see, but like someone drew like with a pink marker over the Koei logo. I have no idea why. But yeah, I'm super happy to have this, because I've wanted this version of the game for such a long time. If I find the others for cheap, which is probably gonna be really hard, because like the other two Dynasty Warriors on the original Xbox, 4 and 5, I mean like 5's definitely the cheapest one out of the bunch, but 3 and 4 are definitely like pretty pricey. You know, Dynasty Warriors 4, the cheapest I've seen that go for, complete in box, is probably about like, I don't know, 10, 12 quid. But yeah, if I ever do find them for cheap, I will definitely get the Xbox versions of those. But yeah, really happy to have this. Wanted that for a very long time. Alright, and the last game we have here, another Tony Hawk game. We have Tony Hawk's Project 8 for the original Xbox. Now, in the last video, I brought the PSP version of this, and now I brought it yet again for the original Xbox. So in total, I have 4 versions of this game. I have the PS2, the Xbox 360, and the PSP versions. Yeah, I'm trying to get like every console version of all the good Tony Hawk games. So yes, that's why I brought this game like 4 times. And the Xbox version I wanted for a really long time, because I wanted to complete my Tony Hawk set for the original Xbox, because for the longest time I just had Pro Skater 2X, 3, 4, Underground 2. But only recently did I buy the last 2. So in February I bought American Wasteland off Amazon, and literally just the other day I got Project 8 for the original Xbox. So yeah, so I now have every Tony Hawk game ever made for the original Xbox. I also have every Tony Hawk game for the PS2, because I got Downhill Jam fairly recently. I haven't even tested this version out yet, nor with American Wasteland actually. I've had American Wasteland for the Xbox for a couple months now, and I haven't even tested that out. And yeah, now I'm just so happy I've finally got a complete Tony Hawk collection for the original Xbox. Every Tony Hawk made for that system, I've got them all now. So yeah, and it is complete right there. And I'm also happy that I only spent about, I think it was £3 on this, because this is by far the most expensive Tony Hawk on the original Xbox. I'm not entirely sure why, probably because it was the last one. But yeah, this version usually goes for around about 10 to about 15, 16 quid. So I was so lucky to actually get this for only £3. But yeah, complete as well. But yeah, so I'm really, really happy to finally have this. And there you have it. That's all 4 of the games that I brought on eBay since I made the last games I brought online video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Oh, actually, real quick, even though this isn't actually a game, this is something else that I brought on eBay that I actually totally forgot to mention in the last video, because I brought this around by like mid-March. And this was something I totally forgot to show in the last video, but I actually brought a GameCube memory card, a 4MB memory card. And yeah, as you can see, this one is actually shaped like the top of the GameCube. Like, it actually looks like a GameCube, like it's even purple and everything. And yeah, that's why I brought it. I really needed a GameCube memory card because the only other one I have, the Spider-Man 2 one, that one has basically no space on it now. It's only got like 2 blocks left. So I desperately need another GameCube memory card. So I was looking around trying to find like cheap memory cards, and I found this one for £5, and I decided to get it just because of how cool it looks, you know, the fact that it actually looks like the system itself. So yeah, it's obviously like a third-party one, but still not a whole lot of space on it. It's only like 59 blocks, I think. And I had some of the previous sellers' saves on it. Like, I had 2 save files for 007 Everything or Nothing. Had a save file for like a WWE game, Day of Reckoning, I think it was. Had a save file for Mario Kart Double Dash, which is from 2005. And also had a Smash Bros. Melee save data from 2007. So yeah, I deleted those other ones, but I decided to keep the Mario Kart and the Smash Bros. Melee save file. So eventually when I get my own copy of Smash Bros. Melee, I could like load up the save of someone's memory card to see like what the previous owner like unlocked, you know, in the game. Yeah, so I brought this because I desperately need another GameCube memory card because my other one has basically no space on it. But yeah, so totally really should have included that in the last video, but I totally forgot to mention it. So that's why I'm mentioning it now. But yeah, so anyway guys, yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will be doing more of these in the future, obviously when I buy some more games off eBay. And for the next video, I'll wait until like I bought like a bunch more games before I make another one of these. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this video. With all that being said, please like, subscribe, and peace, and I'll see you guys in the next video.